Hi, this is Shay Veronica. Kimar Saffrey. He looks as though he's gaining some weight there. He looks pretty healthy, like he's eating well. But he talks a lot about the facilities that are being sought for homeless women and children. Now, why is it always more women finding themselves on the streets and seeking help from the Barbados Alliance to End Homelessness? Number one, you cannot end homelessness, okay? The Barbados Alliance to End, you cannot end it. It's something that some people just like living on the streets. It could be a drug problem, it could be a mental issue, but some people do like living on the streets, okay? Can't end it. So he is in there talking about more women and children, not more men, but more women and more children. So this is something you have to turn and look at the woman. You have to look at the female now and say to her, what are you doing? We know that when you are in Barbados, it's almost as though you're caught in a net, and that net is like a pyramid that keeps you in a certain syndrome. You're in a syndrome there that you cannot pull out of. You cannot get out of it to see yourself, and you continue to make mistakes all the time, the same ones all the time. Okay, I think it's a sort of infection. I think it's like Stockholm syndrome. I think it's something that needs to be looked at by the practitioners there. Okay, but getting back to Kimar, he's talking about trying to find places for these women with their children to go. And I'm going to point him to Harrison Point, the place where they kept the people who were COVID positive. That place had facilities where beds were. It had a facility where bathrooms were. It had a facility where there was a kitchen. So that would be a perfect place. I heard it was closed down, abandoned. It was just there. I saw it in your news in some other time. Recently I saw that. So maybe you can look at Harrison Point, or maybe if there was another facility that you had for COVID patients, you can look at those facilities that are no longer being used for that particular purpose because there's no more COVID, right? COVID is gone, right? There's something else coming, but COVID is gone for now. So you can probably look at buildings that are unoccupied, that may have bathroom facilities, that may have a kitchen facility where the women can cook, and house them there. But Harrison Point, I know because I read it, is no longer occupied. Okay, Kimar? Harrison Point is no longer occupied, and I think that maybe there were more than one place for people who had the virus, so those places may not be occupied, and they're well outfitted for women and children. So maybe you can turn your gaze and look there. Okay, it's Chef Veronica.